cool world? It's the homie Jimmy. I think I finally figured it out. Like the recipe of all recipes for a lot of the questions that I've been asking myself here lately, right? And first of all, this is another episode of Operation Unlimited, and I figured out that I'm going to do weekly series on topics because basically the topic for this week has been toxicity and allowing or therefore not allowing toxic people in our lives. And when I say toxic people, I mean, it kind of sounds shitty to say, toxic people, you know what I mean? Like, but they make you sick. And anything that makes you sick is a toxin. So I'm gonna do a two-parter with like every one of my lives from here on out is like gonna be me whipping in the kitchen and talking my shit. So first of all, this is not me giving advice. This is not me telling you how to live your life. This is my life experience shared with others. You know why I share my life experience? In hopes that what I go through will help someone else to either right their ship or not go through it as well. So I'm making some fried green tomatoes. I don't know exactly what protein I'm gonna have with it, but I bought some different items today to go along with it because I'm trying to gradually get away from meat. This right here is gonna be a new one. This is what we're making our fried green tomatoes with today. I do not promote this program, nor are they paying me for this shit. So, but it's blue cornmeal. Blue corn is a lot better for you than any other kind of corn. It's higher in antioxidants, and blue is my favorite color. But it actually looks purple. But so I was thinking, I was like, damn, why do I keep in constant attracting what I really don't want in my life, as far as like people? And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, because there are traits in those people, and it had to do with like being perfectly honest with yourself. Like there are traits in those people. 4-brain gummies. There are traits in those people that are a reflection of things within ourselves that are still prevalent and that we need to work on and change. And that's the reason we encounter those people. I got this because I'm constantly losing weight, but I'm constantly working, and my job is basically me getting paid to work out. So I was like, damn, what can I do? I need more carbs. I don't like bread. So I was trying to figure out what I can do as far as a dietary supplement. So I'm implementing this into my protein shake, where the fuck is it? Implementing that into this is a vegan protein, vegan sport protein, as well as my healthy essential greens. Everything I bought, you can get what I have for a little over $100. But this should last you at least a month, give or take, depending on how active you are and what you do. So, first of all, I'm finna pop my 4-brain gummies. But what I'm saying, so like, we're encountering these people that, for whatever reason, we're attracting or, coming across or whatever, and it's not that we're doing anything wrong. Like, actually, I believe that the more in alignment you are, the greater your encounters are going to be with the entities or things that you need to change within yourself. I'm being constantly told that I don't know how to talk to people. I think it's bullshit. But I mean, there may be some truth in it. Maybe I'm not talking to the right people. And that could have a large impact on why there's miscommunication or what I'm saying isn't being received correctly. If someone's constantly telling me that, I need to tone it down or soften my delivery or whatever it may be, then what I really feel like is they're not ready to hear whatever it is that I'm saying. Which is also a reflection of, and leads me to believe that I feel as if, damn, I should say that for the next one. But it has a lot to do with what I'm saying today anyway, so I'll just expand on it at a later date, but I'm gonna talk about it in brief right now. And what I mean by that, damn, it's hot in here. What I mean by that is that, we encounter different versions of ourselves than other people, and I think that our ego and our pride don't want to believe that and be like, man, I ain't nothing like that motherfucker. Bullshit. Because if you didn't have similarities, then you wouldn't be like, you can't run across somebody that doesn't have something in some form or some nature that's a reflection of who you are or what you're interested in or what you're seeking or what you've done in the past. It's just impossible. It doesn't work that way. Like, for instance, like, if all I do is trap and run the streets, like, the chances of me running into someone who is totally different or living in a whole nother lane, like, it's highly unlikely. You know what I mean? But as far as if you're working on yourself and, breaking generational curses, or trying to heal from traumas or past experiences, then the odds greatly increase of you possibly, encountering someone who's going through the same thing, or may have asked the universe or God or whatever to, align them on a path that helps them to succeed in making the necessary changes that they want to make in their life. So you will never get what you don't ask for, but you will get what you ask for, whether you do it vocally or you do it spiritually or you do it through your actions. Now, with that being said, there are times that we come across people that innately are reminders of either where we've been or where we desire to go. And I really feel like that, like, for me, like, it's frustrating for me to feel as if I'm treading water staying in place, right? So I get constant reminders and constant experiences with people who are stuck. Like, and when I say stuck, I mean, like, they want better. They genuinely want better. Like, they genuinely want to do different. They genuinely want to be a better person. They genuinely have a desire to take their life in a different direction. Now, just because you have this desire and this overwhelming urge and knowledge that you need to do something different, faith is work. Faith is dead without works. And I say that because you can want all day. You can desire this and desire that. But you ain't getting nowhere if you're not willing to commit and consistently put forth the work and the effort that it takes in order for you to get there. Like, it's like I want to go somewhere, but I'm not going to put no gas in my car. I put gas in my car, but I'm not going to maintain the maintenance on my car. You feel me? Like, it's a lose battle. You're losing the battle that way. So not only do we have to commit to whatever it is that we say that we want by our actions, as far as, like, all right, if I say that I want this and I say that I want that, then I really have to sit down and make a conscious effort as to the actions and the thoughts and the daily routine that I'm going to take in order to achieve that goal. If I don't, then I'm bullshitting. Like, I'm lying to myself. And I think that, like, that honesty with ourselves is the biggest hindrance to our spiritual growth and us reaching whatever goal it is that we desire to achieve. Um, I don't think that we're ever technically ready, because there's a lot of things that are required for us to be ready, but at the same time, like, being ready is a constant process because the situation is constantly evolving. And I think that the thought of growth or evolution or pushing yourself in another direction is a sign that you're ready to grow. Now, the mental maturity and mental strength that comes from making the changes and committing to these things to better yourself is just like working out. Like, at first you'd be like, damn, it's a lot. I don't know if I can do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm tired. It's taxing and blah, blah, blah. But, like, one thing I've learned about pushing is that you level up each and every day and you get stronger. But also, you have to continue to push yourself or you plateau. Like, what was hard for you Monday, by Friday, it might be a piece of cake. So you got to add more weight. You got to add more reps. You got to put more time on the treadmill in order to really see the results. And that same theory and that same concept applies to everything in life. And I think that, like, we want it easier than we really truthfully allow ourselves to understand that it is. Like, there's if it's easy, I don't want it. Because I learned a long time ago that things that are easy for me are never good for me. The things that come easy to me are not a challenge, and challenges don't bring me peace and serenity. Like, I can't say what it's like for anyone else, but, like, I constantly, even in a relationship, I don't necessarily want someone that makes me feel at ease or at peace. Like, I really truly, like, want someone, like, not that gets on my nerves, but it's constantly striving to do better within themselves, because that pushes me to do better within myself, because, like, that's my mindset, is that I can always be better at whatever it is that I do. So with that understanding, like, it's going to irritate me and frustrate me if I'm ever allowing myself to settle for something that isn't that. And that's part of what I said about, like, why are we attracting what we really don't want? And it really boils down to, you want it easy. You want it easy. Like, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And, like, I'm accepting today that, like, easy ain't finna be a part of what it is that I get out here. You know what I mean? And, like, the greater the calling, the more is required of you. Like, if you got some spectacular ass kids and you got a great family and these things, like, you're gonna have more difficulties and more challenges within your life, because you're an example to those people that depend on you and look at you every day on how to overcome challenges and how to be a better person and what do you do when things get tough. It's just not about what you're going through. Like, you are literally an example of how to fucking make it happen. And I think that if I don't accept that responsibility, then not only am I not doing myself a favor, but I'm also hindering the growth of the people that I really care about. There's people who just want someone to make them feel better. That ain't what I do. Like, and I think that part of that is how I'm wired and how I'm built and how I'm set up is no one makes me feel better. Like, happiness is 1,000% an inside job. And I've accepted that for myself. And if people are seeking for someone else to make them happy, what they're ultimately seeking is a distraction from doing the shit that they need to do to be happy themselves. And that ain't what we doing around here. What we doing around here is assessing the situation, making the diagnosis, and then coming up with a game plan to eliminate the things that are hindering it, and then enacting the things that are going to strengthen it and aid it and help it to push to be on a better level, to find peace, happiness, and serenity. So I sit and everything that happens in my life that makes me feel some kind of way that I don't want to feel today, I analyze it. It's not me sitting around and thinking about, oh, I wish it was like this, I wish it was like that. Because wishing ain't finna do shit. You know, if it's your wish, then it's your desire. And if it's your desire, that should spark a fire. And by sparking that fire, that should light some shit up under your ass to make you move around and get a different result. With that being said, like, I wish to excel. Therefore, there's things that I have to do on a daily basis in order to reach that. With that being said, attracting things within my life that I don't want. I think that is because once you have an understanding that you're never going to have things exactly the way you want it, it makes it easier to accept the fact that the things within my life that I can change are going to require a level of commitment from me that I haven't given before. I think that anytime I settle for anything other than what I truly want or desire, it sets me back. I think that anytime I allow distractions in my life, when I say distractions, I mean situations, circumstances, person, places, or things that do not serve me, nor are the flavor that I'm looking for. So I'm selling myself short there. And when I do those things, that it's like basically, you know, I walked up 6 steps, but I took 2 steps back. So now I'm taking 10 steps instead of another 2 just to get where I want to be. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a process in learning and understanding. Like sometimes you do have to take a few steps back because you're moving too fast, or you missed a step, or you kind of cheated on this rep, or you got on the treadmill a couple minutes early when you should have stayed on there a few more. You know, it's those kind of things in life that, like, when you cut corners, the only person you cheat is yourself. And it sucks to have the foresight and the awareness that I have sometimes, because I'm like, damn, I can't blame anyone for anything. I can't say it's this person's fault. I can't say it's that person's fault, because it's not. Like, it's really me and my willingness to do things thorough in a way as to get the result that I need. Because if I don't ultimately put in the level of commitment that it's going to take for me to have the results that I want, who can I be mad at? No one. All right, now, also with the attracting things that we don't want has a lot to do with our own habits, right? Now, if I go to Wendy's every day, right, and I give me a junior bacon classic and fries or a biggie bag or whatever, right? I can't expect for Longhorn to be expecting me every day. And I say that to say this. You will never get a different result doing things the way that you've done them in the past. I will never encounter nor be able to remain consistently in contact with the people, places, or things that I truly desire if I'm not living a conscious existence that says, this is my standard. These are the things that I must do on a day in and day out basis to maintain that standard. And anything less than that, or anything that is not that, I refuse to allow to be a part of my life. But in order for me to do that, it requires changing a lot of habits. And all a habit is an action that we've done over time repeatedly. So in order for me to attract new things, like, I really have to enact new habits as well. Part of my new habits are committing to reading, like, every day something. And if I don't, there is no if I don't. Not only reading, but also, like, listening to different perspectives, different teachings. Not only do I listen to scripture, I also listen to holistic teachings, spiritual teachings, and mental fortitude or mental strength, like things that make your mind stronger. And the reason I do so is because like these are the things that make me feel as if I'm achieving my goals. Now, with that being said, I also say this about attraction, right? Now, if I commit to doing these kind of things, then over time, I will attract people that are on that same type of journey. Period. Like, but at the same time, the universe will not give you what you're not ready for. And the only way that you show that you're ready for it is through your actions. And until you can consistently, because you got to remember, like, even if, you want to change and you want to be a better person, at one point you was consistently whoever it is that you wanted to transform from. So until you're ready to relinquish all those ties that bind you to your previous existence or self or soul or mindset or preference, until you're ready to relinquish all the things that keep you locked in that bondage, you're going to continue to meet. You're going to continue to experience. And a big old nice green tomato. And actually, I got this at the pop-up in Laverne at the farmer's market. Man, the lady had the deal, though. I literally bought 2 big old green tomatoes, a bag of cucumbers, and a bag of squash for $8. You can't get that shit at Walmart. They're going to bust your head. Anyway. So, and this is what I'm gonna do my fried green tomatoes in. Some avocado oil. I didn't really got on this tahini kick. I really like it on everything. But this is gonna be my primary seasoning for my green tomatoes. They ain't paying me for that either, but it's fine. But damn, my shit just went to old man. But I think that a big issue for a lot of us is the thinking that it's all these other people's fault. Like well, I changed, you haven't changed, blah 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 blah, and all this, and I'm grateful for the experiences that I deal with today that allow me to see the need for me to continue to not only change my course of action, but change the way I think about a lot of things as well. Because ultimately, I cannot change and remain consistent in the changes without a renewing of the mind. You know what I mean? Like it's basically like you ain't got some body work done on your car, but the engine is still the same old engine. Eventually you gonna have the same old problems. Or you got your engine changed, but that transmission needs some work too. And it's like they had this saying, and I used to hate it. It said, the one thing that you have to change about yourself is everything. And in a sense, it made me feel like, that's bullshit because I'm not that messed up. There's no way that I need to change everything about me. That's not exactly what it means. What it means is everything that you thought in the past and your ways of handling things and your ways of addressing issues, that's just not going to work. It's not going to work for the future you. Like, it a lot of things that we did in the past, we did them from a survival standpoint. We did them because it was our only options, or we thought we had to, or whatever, whatnot. And as we continue to grow and as we continue to progress, like, our options change not only our options, but what we're privy to, the way we think, and our abilities to handle things in a different manner, in a different perspective should change. If not, then we're really not putting in the work. So let's just say, for instance, like, I don't argue. That's just one thing I don't do. You know what I mean? You can feel how you want to feel. I'm going to feel how I want to feel. But I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you about nothing. Now, with that being said, if I find myself arguing, then I went backwards. And that also means that whoever I'm arguing with is not on the level that's capable or able of communicating effectively. And that's why we arguing in the first place, because information is being given, but it isn't being received by either party for whatever reason. Until you're dealing with someone that's emotionally mature enough to handle whatever it is that you guys are disagreeing about, you'll never be able to properly communicate with that person. Because they have no interest in obtaining the information that you're trying to share with them. They just want to be felt, seen, or heard about their point or how they see things. Which I think we all, have that urge or that right, but at the same time, though, it does me no good to sit there and go back and forth with someone who ultimately, when it's all said and done, they ain't gonna get it anyway. And if my desire to be heard is greater than my desire to be understood, then yeah, I'll be heard, but I will not be understood. And to me, it's more important that you understand the information that I'm giving you if we having a disagreement than it is for me to feel as if I'm right. Because it's not about being wrong or being right. It's about, this is the situation, and I need you to know this so that we don't, repeat this in the future. Some people just want you to know where they're coming from. Cool, I can know where you're coming from, but where you're coming from has nothing to do with where we going. In a sense, it may, but like, if where you're coming from is based on your past experience with another motherfucker that ain't nothing like me, what good does that do us? If where you're coming from is solely based on you dealt with this type of person and they were abusive and blah, 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 and I don't resemble that in any shape, form, or fashion, then how is that serving us? Because what that means is that you're still holding on to something that no longer serves you. And when it really boils down to is that ain't my shit to handle. That's yours. But I think that also comes into play or can affect from both parties. You know what I mean? Until we've actually sat down and made a conscious and concerted decision to heal and to say, okay, I've dealt with this in the past, and this is the kind of person that I have attracted time and time again, but this person is different. You still have to learn what it takes to deal with that difference because it's new ground. It's something that you have yet to, I wouldn't say conquer, or master, but it's something foreign that it's going to take some work within you to truly get to a place where you're comfortable and you're not intimidated by the actions and this foreignness of someone being super kind to you or dealing with you in a way and being patient that you've never dealt with before because you think that the only time you've seen that is with an ulterior motive or if somebody did this, then this was coming next, and blah, 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 blah. But, it's like watching a movie that you think you've seen before, and you really have no idea what you're even watching. It's a totally different shit. It's some totally different shit. You think you're watching a comedy or a scary movie, and, this is for real, some Lifetime shit. And also, I realized that, I have a tendency or a habit or whatever to attract things that that wake me up to my need to change to change some fried green tomatoes right now, to change certain things within my life in order for me to ultimately have happiness and peace in a way that I truly want to have it. That there is no gain in anything without sacrifice. It just isn't. And when I say sacrifice, sacrifice isn't giving something up innately. It's not. It's your willingness to dedicate or give or invest in something so that you can have something greater. And for me, I'm willing to sacrifice time. I'm willing to sacrifice energy. What I'm not willing to sacrifice is my peace. What I'm not willing to sacrifice or compromise is my ethics or my integrity. I'm not going to sacrifice, I'm not going to make you feel better, I'm not going to feel like shit, if that makes sense. And I think that, that, for me, that's been a big challenge, is balancing, is this worth the sacrifice? And with some people it is, and then with others you see exactly why it is not. Because it does no good for me to give freely of myself and quote unquote sacrifice things for someone who really ain't gonna appreciate it in the long run, and also they're gonna hold it against you and be resentful and not even see that you made a sacrifice for the sake of trying to better them. And it also goes back to a need to change. Even recently, in the last couple of months, there was things in my life that I didn't necessarily feel like I needed to change, right? And because I was so reluctant to change those things, life had a way of showing me that if I didn't change those things, then I would continue to attract things that I don't want. So today and any day forward, I'm still working and making a conscious effort to make sure that some of my old behaviors, for one, I have to be aware. I have to be aware that when I'm exhibiting my old behaviors, I have to be aware that, because I handled situations in the past this way, I can't handle them in the future because I'm not dealing necessarily with the same entities. I'm not dealing on the same energy or vibration level as I was in the past. I can't say that I'm growing and I want growth, that I got growth in my life, and continue to work in a manner that was before I had growth. So today I get that. I get my responsibility to myself and to my peace and my serenity, that I got to move different. If I am different, then I'm going to move different. And ultimately, it takes a certain level of courage to change, because we find comfortability in familiarity. We're comfortable in the shit that we used to. And even if it's negative, even if it's, not even good for us. And I think that that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people have trouble with, including myself, is that uncomfortability. And the need to be uncomfortable in order to grow. You know what I mean? If I could get comfortable in the gutter, if I could get comfortable in the hood, if I could get comfortable in jail, if I could get comfortable in prison, if I can get comfortable being homeless, then why in the hell is it so hard to get comfortable being successful? Why is it such a challenge to get comfortable finding financial freedom? Why is it such a challenge to get comfortable being in a healthy relationship? You know why? Because it's some shit you ain't never had or never done. And not only that, we get this fear within us of losing it. And then we also get this timidness and this fear of, can I maintain this energy? Can I maintain this course of actions that I need to maintain in order to get there? And the question really is not a question of can you, it's a question of will you. Will you continue to invest? Will you continue to commit? Will you continue to do the things that are necessary in order for you to reach, and not only reach, but sustain this goal, this level, this status that you say that you want? And ultimately, no matter what you say you want, it all comes back to what you're willing to do. Not one time, not sometime, not when you feel like it, but what you're willing to do consistently, unbegrudgingly. That's a word that I like right there, unbegrudgingly. And basically that means without bitching, without like feeling like, I gotta do this, blah, 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 blah. Because honestly, anything that you do in life that makes you a better person is a blessing. And it says to do all things in joy. Do all things with a joyous heart. So if you're getting the ability, the time, the situation to do these things that ultimately are going to make your life better, the fuck you bitching about? Like, why are you crying? And, you know, that's a big for a lot of us. We wake up, we got these beautiful kids, or we wake up and we got this beautiful house, and then we get in traffic and we pissed off because we in traffic. And now we pissed off because traffic is going slow. Like, all of that shit is part of the process. The patience that's going to take you to keep your calm in traffic may be the patience that's guiding you to keep your calm with that coworker that's on that fuck shit when you go into work today. But instead, we allow the frustration from the traffic to bring us into a situation within work, and not knowing that we were just worked on before we even got there. Now we at work and we're ready to snap at the instant, when really that was priming us and getting us ready for this fuckery that was coming down the pipeline. It's these kind of things and those kind of thoughts that will allow you to succeed when it really boils down to it. It's like you have to realize that everything in life is not a test, but everything in life is a blessing. Everything in life is not a test, but like basically it's a warm-up rep for the bullshit. And like, which brings me back to the point of the whole original post. You're not attracting what you don't want. What you're doing is being prepared for what you do want. What you're doing is basically recon or reconnaissance, or gaining information so that you will be aware of the actions that you need to take in order to deal with the things that you say you want, and not allow yourself to continue to travel down the road that's going to lead you to the things that you don't want. Live life in peace, stay prayed up, get your weight up, and prepare for war at all times. These have been my Facts for Matters. Oh, hold up, I got to show y'all these motherfucking green tomatoes. So, just until that time comes, and they got this skillet. I only got a few more to go. But, you know, I had a post last night, and one of my close my Facebook familia, you know, they put my inbox, and it's like, man, I felt that one. And it was like, why does God give me these things to go through? It's not God that gives you these things to go through. We ask for that shit. We sign up for it. And today, I have the wherewithal to understand that, like, I'm deserving of my assignments. Like, I'm deserving of the assignments that God's given me and the challenges that I face and the things that I don't, quote unquote, want to deal with. Because if I fail to deal with those things, then I'll never be ready for my blessings. If I don't deal with the inconveniences and the uncomfortable situations that I go through today, then how will I be able to be a steward for all the things that God's going to bless me with and give me? Like, I be asking for some shit that no one else would ask for. I really do. When I say I want to work with people who are troubled, when I say I want to work with troubled youth, when I say I want to work with, people, survivors of domestic violence, both sexes, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Like, when I say I want to do these kind of things, like, ain't shit about that finna be easy. So why would the schooling or the preparation or the life experiences that I got to go through that come with that, how's that going to be easy? It's not going to be. It's got to be, if it were as simple as reading a book, everybody on earth would just read a book on how to be a better human, which basic instructions before leaving the earth is. But everyone's not capable of thinking in that manner. And like a lot of us have to go through different experiences and ultimately come to the realization that it was my actions that got me to the point to where I even had to deal with this bullshit in the first place. But a lot of people are not ready for that conversation. And I'm not saying that like you deserved or you asked for the fuck shit that happened in your life. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is you are 1,000% responsible for how you respond to it and the course of action that you take after said action. And if we don't accept that, then we'll never grow, we'll never change, and our lives will remain the same. So either you do the work, either you do the time, you do the work, you put in the effort, or you just continue to sit there and bitch about, my life is never good. Nobody loves me, and all I meet are dickheads, and all I meet is hoes, and blah, blah, blah. But, like, that's a result of the actions that you're taking after you just got done with the first dickhead. And, I mean, that's just the cold, hard truth. And I'm not saying that about you. I'm saying that about me. But there's a part of you that knows I'm right. Also, I figured out that, like, it's not about being right. And I explained it to someone this way. I don't give a fuck about being right or wrong. This is what I know for sure. If I'm talking about something, it's because I've experienced it. If I'm talking about something, it's because I've dealt with it. If I'm talking about something, it's because I went through it. If I'm talking about something and I'm giving a solution to it, it's because I found that to be the answer that works best for me. And those are the things, and those are the only things that I would say that I'm right about. I won't say that I'm right about something that I read in a book. I won't say that I'm right about something that I felt. I will say what I'm right about because I know it to be the correct. I know it to be correct. And that's it. You know why? I don't want to be wrong. Being wrong in my existence can cost me my life. I can't afford to be wrong. So, made these fried green tomatoes with the blue cornmeal, which gave them slight purplish hue, which led to a slight purplish hue. And if you don't clean while you go in the kitchen, you don't know how to cook. Get your nice cast iron skillet. You really don't even use soap. You just add some nice warm water to it. Immediately put it into the H2O. Immediately following removing from the oil stove. After doing said step, normally, if you wasn't burning shit up and you actually know how to cook, this is the result you will get after only a few minutes of rinsing the water. It should resemble something like this. That is a clean pan. Didn't use any soap whatsoever. And these are the fried green tomatoes using harina de maíz azul. Harina de maíz azul. Instant blue corn masa. With that being said, I gotta go work about an hour or so. Live life, peace, stay prayed up, get your weight up, prepare for war at all times. These have been my facts for matters. You better know it. You know, it'll all work out. It'll all work out. It really will. But nothing's gonna work out without a total level of commitment, consistency, desire, dedication, and devotion from you. That's all I got.